To report another story, another tragic story, is always difficult for me. And what I want to do, and my intention is always to put some respect on these children's names and their stories. But what I want to talk about is two individuals right here on my screen, if I can get their story up, that follows a narrative that we have been talking about for years now. That is sad that we've been talking about the same narrative that we could look like if we only did stories about mom's boyfriend, we could still do stories every single day. Isn't that sad? That's how many mothers are allowing boyfriends to participate in the demise of their children. That we could focus our stream, our channel, solely on those stories and would never run out. This story comes out of a place called Mesa, Arizona. And two people from Mesa are now behind bars and facing charges for reportedly abusing 3 young children. Not 1, not 2, but 3. How do we get here? One of these children is currently in the hospital on life support after September the 19th with an incident that occurred. Now, the children's ages are 8 years old, 7 years old, and 4 years old. And court documents describe the alleged horrors that went on inside the home at the hands of their mother, and her name is Shamara Kaimara. I don't know how to pronounce this stupid woman's name, nor do I care how to pronounce her name properly. This busted looking broad, her name is spelled C-H-A-I, M-A-R-A, Mara, Chimera, Shanae Washington, and her ex-boyfriend, Brandon Cooper. I'm going to ask you guys a question. Why did they need to specify that this is her ex-boyfriend? It's her boyfriend. He's involved. He was the last dude that she was probably sleeping with, or maybe not, maybe not. Maybe she was nasty. She could have been nasty, but I'm just saying. They specifically put in ex-boyfriend. Brandon Cooper is the ex-boyfriend, but I digress. On September the 19th, which was just a few days ago, the eldest daughter, who was 8 years old, was sent to the hospital unconscious with numerous injuries, including bruises, cuts, and a bleeding brain. And y'all can see some of the highlights from that document. The eldest daughter was sent to the hospital unconscious with numerous injuries, including bruises, cuts, and a bleeding brain. The injuries are so severe that doctors do not expect this child to survive. Washington, the mother, reportedly told investigators that her daughter fell and hit her head. I'm going to tell you guys this. People of the AFC ought to realize that this is an excuse that these people have been using for a long time now. All the way back to the story that I told about the woman in Houston. I cannot remember her name. She's one of my feature stories. It's got almost like 300,000 views. I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head. When she said that her daughter died from falling. They keep blaming the kids. They keep saying the kids fell. But they got cuts, bruises, and bleeding brains. And from that, it's because they did it to themselves. They continue to keep blaming this violence on the kids. She told them that she fell and hit her head, but after police interviewed and she gave multiple different stories, Washington said that she would use a leather belt to discipline her children when they did not listen to her or obey her, which is what that screenshot says right there of that document. And I've told you guys how I feel about parents spanking their children, and I'm telling all of you, if you are currently spanking your children, I'm asking you to stop. Unless you're a freaking idiot. Stop. Are you not smart? Do you not have the mental fortitude? Do you not have the mental capacity to lead your own household? Why is it like this power struggle where people feel like they need to beat up the children? I thought y'all were the parents. I thought you were the one in charge. I thought you were the one that brought the bread home. I thought that you were the one that was the head of household. So why do people feel the need to beat up children to get the children to understand who really runs the house? That sounds like people who are insecure and people who are immature. Insecure and immature. Those are the only people who beat up children because the children didn't go in the way that you wanted them to go. Well, most people don't understand this very simple concept. If you want a child to go a particular direction, you have to start from the moment that that child is born, and you have to form a relationship with that child out of love. Not out of force, out of love. If you love that child, then love will reciprocate. You will get that same thing back. So whatever you get, whatever you put into that child is the same thing that you're going to get back. So if that child is disrespecting you, that's because somewhere along the line you are disrespecting that child. Respect reciprocates. If you respect a child will respect you, but you can't just all of a sudden out of nowhere, the child is 8 or 9 years old, and then you try to respect the child and then the child rejects it. You have to start that process from the moment they're born. That's why raising children is hard work. It's not a cakewalk. It is not a walk in the park. And you don't have to beat up a kid. And I've told people this. Thank you, Alice. Alice said, I'm glad I joined your channel. From my heart to yours, thank you for that message. Thank you for listening with an open mind and an open heart and understanding what I'm trying to put out there. Respect reciprocates. What you put into that child is what you will get back. If you find it hard to raise children in the way that you want them to go, then why are we constantly procreating and bringing more children into this world? Oh, that's right. Because they're not bringing children into this world because they love them. They're bringing these children into this world for the benefits, like Doris said, that they can collect from these children. Hashtag babies for benefits. When you beat a child, when you beat a human, when you beat a dog, when you beat a cat, when you beat anything that is living and breathing, all you are teaching that thing is fear. F-E-A-R. Fear. That's all you're teaching them. You're teaching them fear. And the last time I checked, I would much prefer my daughter, and shout out to my daughter, who I love very much. I don't want her to fear me. I want her to respect me. Therefore, I give her respect. She gives me respect. I give her love. She gives me love. I give her teaching. And guess what she gives me? Teaching. How about that? But let's keep going. Washington admitted that she used the belt to hit her daughter multiple times over the past 3 days. The 8-year-old was reportedly punished because she jumped over a book in the living room. Washington allegedly swung a broken broom handle to move her daughter out of the way when she hit the wall and became unresponsive. God, that sounds like an idiot. Court paperwork says that Washington tried to wake her daughter up by performing CPR, even putting her into the bathtub to wake her up with water. How many stories just in the past 2 weeks have we done of these parents killing the kids and then putting them in tubs of water to so-called revive them? How many? Then she reportedly asked her ex-boyfriend, Brandon Cooper, to take the other children to their grandparents' house so they would not see what's happening. Court documents allege that the children were required to exercise for an extended period of time, running and jumping over an exercise ball. Isn't that ironic that somebody who is fat will force kids to work out. Let me get a picture of her back up here. This woman don't look like she's in no kind of shape. I would love to see what the rest of her body looks like, but I'm just going to assume that she's not in any kind of shape. She's not a fitness model. She probably don't work out at all, but got these kids working out to the point of just flat out ridiculousness. It was later learned through interviews with the kids that Cooper, their mother's ex-boyfriend, get this, would throw glass cups. He would throw glass cups at the 4-year-old boy after telling investigators that he would only slap the young boy on the hand. He threw glass cups at the 4-year-old boy. And that's supposed to be discipline? You throw glass cups at a child? That's supposed to be discipline. The 4-year-old also had multiple injuries and he could hardly walk. Both Washington and Cooper are due back in court tomorrow, September the 25th in the morning on suspicion of felony charges. Let me show you guys the news videos and let me give you guys the fair usage. Let's talk about this. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. All right, let's get it. This fool threw glass cups. Like, I don't understand, man. Make me just want to just choke these idiots. It just don't get much dumber than that.
Boyfriend behind.
Whoa.
And bars tonight, accused of child abuse after an 8-year-old girl was taken to the hospital in very bad shape. Fox 10's Jennifer Martinez joins us live with more on the allegations against them. Jennifer.
And the ages of those kids, 4 and 8 years old, and another one, 7 years old, witnessing everything that happened. Now, court documents, it described a house of horrors. And now that 8-year-old girl, she's fighting for her life. Doctors telling investigators she might not survive.
No answer at the home of Shamara Shanae Washington, accused of abusing her 8-year-old daughter, sending her to the hospital unconscious over the weekend. The young girl rushed to Banner Desert with multiple injuries, including bruises, cuts, and a brain bleed. The injuries so severe, doctors say she may not survive. The mother telling investigators her daughter fell and hit her head. After police interviews and several different stories, court paperwork shows Washington admitted to using a leather belt to discipline her children and forcing them to exercise for extended periods of time. According to the documents, the mother had used the belt on her daughter several times over the last few days and hit her with a broken broom. But the girl was knocked unconscious while jumping over a large medical book in the living room as punishment. The documents show the mother claims the girl fell and hit her head on a door handle and then against the wall. Washington tried to wake the 8-year-old up by performing CPR and put her in the bathtub in hopes of the water waking her up, while asking this man, her ex-boyfriend Brandon Cooper, to take the other 2 children ages 4 and 7 to their grandparents' house. Police say it was later learned through interviews with the kids that Cooper would throw glass cups at the 4-year-old boy after telling investigators that he would only slap the young boy on his hand. The 4-year-old also had multiple injuries and could hardly walk. Cooper has also been arrested.
You have 2 Class 4 felony charges for child abuse.
And both Washington and Cooper are expected and due back in court on September 25th. Reporting live in Mesa, I'm Jennifer Martinez with Fox 10 News.
And I'm going to end this real nice and real sweet. And I'm going to say this. It don't get much dumber than this. This dude had every opportunity to walk away from this situation. And because he didn't, he saw something, didn't say anything, and allowed it to happen. And he participated by throwing glass cups at a 4-year-old boy. Like, you're just not even trying to raise these kids, to be a father figure. Like, is that the way that your father raised you, by throwing cups at you? Is that the way your mama raised you, by throwing glass cups at you? Like, you just can't be that level of dumb. And that's going to be a saying by me. Somebody repost that in the chat, please. You can't be that level of dumb. That's going to be a new saying. We're going to have a million different hashtags. Hashtag, you can't be that level of dumb. The mom put these kids through rigorous workouts for no damn reason, because you know why? Because that's just what lazy parents do. They don't want to think. They don't want to try. They just want to beat and kick and spank and slap and slam and beat these children to death, and then hope that the children's bodies can withstand all of the brain bleeding, all of the lacerated spleens, all of the collapsed lungs, all of the broken arms, all of the broken limbs, all of the cuts and scratches and black eyes. They just hope that the kids' bodies can survive all of this. When in all actuality, if you didn't want to have kids, you didn't have to produce them. It was not forced upon you. It was a choice. Your body, your choice, mom. Your body, your choice. Dad could have kept his dick in his pants, and he didn't have to be around this woman. He didn't have to abuse those children. He didn't want to be in that situation. You didn't have to be there. But because you guys chose to do this to these kids, I'd say hashtag TTO, hashtag TTT, which means take the testicles, take the ovaries, cut them off, burn them off, throw them away. They shouldn't have any more reproductive rights. They shouldn't have any more legal rights. They should not have any more breath in their body for what they did to these kids, what they subjected these kids to. And these kids, the ones that survived, are going to have to live with this for the rest of their life, knowing that they were about to lose their oldest sibling, who cannot speak for herself, nor can she defend herself against the tyranny of these two jackass people. I hope those other children will live through this, and that they can thrive and survive this, and maybe they'll be able to tell a story like some of our people in the chat who grew up in an abusive household that just got lucky and survived it. I hope that they put these children in a safe home and protect them. And that, look, man, if y'all don't want to have kids, stop having them. We don't have to have sex. We don't have to procreate. Stop having them. Stop getting with women who got kids. If you don't want to have kids, if you don't want to deal with the kids, then don't get with the woman that got kids. Damn. Having sex ain't that important that you need to be beating up and killing kids. There's a special place in hell for these two jackasses. And I hope that they get nice and cozy with the devil when they get to hell, because they deserve it. Anybody who abuses children deserves to go to hell. Don't send them to jail. Send them straight to hell. This is your boy DJ Just J. We're the AFC, where we're going to continue to advocate for our babies. We're going to continue to speak for our babies. We're going to give them a voice, and we're going to keep fighting for them until this type of thing ceases to exist. So we got a long way to go, and we got a lot of work cut out for ourselves, but that's why we're the AFC. You guys want to know what you can do? You can be a voice. You can see something. You can say something. You can do something from your own homes. You can do something from your own neighborhoods. And more importantly, you guys can do something in your own households by making sure that you do not beat your children. You teach your children. You love your children. Be an example. Be the example. Lead by example. That's how you make a difference. That's how we as the AFC turn the tide in this war, and it has to start at home. We have to start being better examples, start being better citizens, start being better parents, start being better examples. This is your boy DJ Just J. Those people in the chat are the AFC. We're all the AFC. We're a family, and we advocate for children first. From my heart to yours, I love you all, and you guys have a great night. Thank you guys for being here for this stream. Hit the thumbs up. Please make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to our stream. We have so much more work to do, and I want to be your guys' platform to make sure we spearhead this war for our babies. Hashtag Babies Lives Matter. I love you guys.